Hi, welcome back to Sarah Pocha-Kawa. It's been a little while since I've done a video. I got a bulk of things right before Christmas, and with Christmas itself and how the weather is, this is the first sunny day that I've had so far to be able to record anything. So today I'm hoping to talk about my order with EMIM. I did an order where I sent dresses that I wanted to be altered to her, and today I'm just gonna talk about the results. So the first dress I'd like to talk about is the dress that I have on at the moment, and I would like to show this as well. It's a little matching tote that was made with leftover fabric, and excuse the noise of plastic. These are my leftover pieces from the dress, and this is my other dress that I'll be talking about shortly. This tote bag will come in very handy. Sometimes in cords I bring two pairs of shoes. The ones that are a bit safer for the walking around part, if we're walking around somewhere, and then the fancy ones for when we stop somewhere. And the bags that I have are always, they're not very nice tote bags, and in kind of candid shots you can see me with tons of bags for no kind of reason. Well, honestly, you can see through my bag and see that I'm carrying spare pairs of shoes. I just look like that maybe I wasn't entirely prepared. So I'm really glad at this, that even with other dresses I'd be able to throw the shoes into this and it looks nice. I could also pin the little bow on it and kind of jazz it up another bit, but I'm happy enough to have like a nice printed tote. I did have like an event tote from my comms event a few years ago, but it's plain black, so unless that you see it fully open, it just looks like a black and gold tote from anywhere. Inside there's also this lovely little note, and it says, "Hello dear Sarah, thank you for trusting me with your dresses. I hope everything fits well." So everything did fit well. If you want the short version of the video, everything did fit well. I also got this lovely little bow. It's a little pin bow, and has little tiny keys on it. That's to match this dress. Sorry, plastic there. And these are the tiny little bits left over, like my Emily Temple Cute tag had to come off my dress in the altering process, so I did get these back along with the extra fabric. I wanted to talk about briefly that this collar is detachable. So if you're looking at me going, "You're double collar?" I love collars, I don't love them that much. But I'm quite happy that I have the choice of, if I maybe wore this with a cardigan, that I could have the collar on, you know, and that all this bit will be covered anyway. So I'm really happy about that. But I could also take it off and have totally plain. Fit wise, this dress in particular I think fit a lot better, but there was an awful lot of, because I had two OPs, there was so much matching fabric that I think you kind of couldn't go wrong. Whereas with the Emily Temple Cute one was brand with not a lot of spare fabric, this was Taobao with a ton of spare fabric. So I think, you know, when you're kind of weighing it up, there was less that could go wrong because of the spare fabric, and that if it did go wrong, you know, it wasn't going to be very expensive to replace, or, you know, if I decided to sell it, I wasn't going to lose that much. And, you know, and I'm really happy with this. So it does kind of sit a bit funny. I think, again, my shoulders are just weird. But I think with a cardigan then this bit will fold down. Plus it hasn't been ironed yet. So a bit of an iron in there might settle that down a bit. That this bit then, and I could have maybe something that was quite short peeping up here, or if I had like a roll neck high bit here, and and then the cardigan over this collar would be really, really nice. So I think it made it as versatile as it could be from turning it from an OP to a JSK. This is my other dress that I had altered. It's an Emily Temple cute dress. Like I showed you, I had the tag left over. It was an OP. The bust here was quite short, and because of the sleeves kind of not fitting me quite well, I look kind of squashed into it, like I was about to burst. So I asked, like with the other dress, I'd asked for this to be a bit bigger than what I am. Because my first experience with EMIM, while it went well, I actually ended up shortly after being too big for the dress that I had paid all the money for. So I was thinking ahead. It's a tiny bit too big, but I don't mind. I think it's okay. You'll see it on shortly and you can make your own decisions about it. I know some people are very for just kind of a strong opinion about altering dresses, but they're my dress, so, and I want it done. You can see that the colour is out of the shadow of the ring light, is pretty much accurate to the colour, and that was just pure luck that they were going to the shops and they had seen this fabric. So it is a kind of a two-layer. I'll try and show closer on camera. And the straps are adjustable. So I need to cross these over. That was the one problem that we had, was the straps are very big, but I have quite small shoulders. So it is an expected thing between, let's say, my friends and everything. We're like, we're not surprised. So I'm very happy with it. This is actually, I think it was my first dress that I decided was a dream dress, and then I got it and I wore it to meet Carrie Pemu, and then I got too big for it, and then I fit into it, and then I didn't fit into it, and I hated the kind of the yo-yoing of whether I fit into it or I didn't fit into it, and that was mostly my decision to get it altered. And as I've mentioned in other videos, because of COVID, I wanted dresses that I could wear kind of casually or dress up or dress down. This is a dress that I see more on the casual side, and I'm hoping because of that I'll get to wear it a lot, because a lot of my dresses I don't get to wear them, and especially because of COVID I really didn't get to wear them. So that's kind of my verdict on the Emily Temple cute dress. I think it's a tiny bit big, but otherwise I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, we were kind of debating whether we would go with the blue or the pink. I was kind of set on a kind of a more neutral colour because I thought it limited what I could wear with it. So I'm really, really happy that we ended up with, you can see it there a lot better, a very, very matching, and almost perfect, I would say, colour match to the original. So yeah. The time process as well was quite long, but because I didn't need it for a particular time, I didn't ask for it in a particular time, If you feel like a time pressure, or maybe you want it for your birthday or something, I really would recommend that you say all this kind of thing up front. I just messaged every now and again and was like, you know, did you have free time to do it? They might have had an event on. They said, I didn't do it yet, but I will do it, you know, when this event is over, I'm going to start. And I was very happy with that. Some people might be like, you know, but I want my stuff now. So I can't really gauge on how well under time pressure this kind of alteration would be, because I was very cool about it. I was like, you know, if you don't have time now, don't do it, it's fine. So I was very happy to wait, and I was very patient about it. So when you look at the timeline, take into consideration that I didn't put them under a time pressure and they suited themselves. I had to record a conclusion later on, so I'm sorry that there was a change in wardrobe. In conclusion to the order from EMIM, I'm so happy with how I think it's called the Magic Book dress. I'll put the real wording for that somewhere, but I'm so happy. It's so comfortable. I much prefer it without the collar, but I'm glad that I have the option to add the collar if I wanted to, like with a cardigan or something. The EMIM Temple Cute one, I'm mostly happy with it. Sometimes there can be a bit of bunching here, but that might be fixed with ironing, or could be covered with a belt. I don't think it's the end of the world type thing. I may move the buttons up, that the straps were too long, and to compensate for that, it was suggested for me to cross them over, and it would look okay under a cardigan, but I think on its own it looks a bit bulky that way. So I think if in the future I will be wearing it without cardigans, I will move the buttons up a bit, and that should hopefully even out anything with that. So definitely 100% would recommend them. If you include this as an order, the two dresses, this is my second order with Eat Me Ink Me. Like I said, I had ordered something and the dress did come out gorgeous. It was just that I didn't compensate for that at some time my size would change, and you know, no one can they couldn't really like know that was going to happen. I didn't know. So there isn't kind of anything, there was nobody's fault for that. I would say that if you are ordering two, please consider what happened to me, and maybe, you know, add a bit or ask for shearing, or, you know, if you're the type of person whose body changes on the regular. Mine did at the time change very slowly, and now I would say it's kind of up and down all the time. So I was compensating for that by adding a good bit of sizing to these orders. So yeah, I will leave a link below to Eat Me Ink Me. They're normally involved with online events at the moment, and they're very friendly, they're very communicative, and if you're unsure of anything, just ask. You know, a lot of people are can be worried about things and don't say. You should always have good communication. Say what things that you're worried about, if you are worried about altering things. And if you're not sure in what way to alter it, also ask them that, because Eat Me Ink Me has done quite a bit. They're quite experienced with making pieces and things like that, that if you're not sure, just send them a message and say, what way would you alter this piece to make it fit, 10 centimeters or 5 centimeters or whatever, or adding a bustle if the skirt part is too narrow, things like that. There are ways. But the best person to ask that is the person who's altering it, and always ask maybe for photos of things that they'd ordered altered for other people as well. Ask them, how much will it cost? If you're a person like me whose size fluctuates, mention that. They might add shearing or half shearing or bustle or something like that. The best thing to do is to just ask and discuss. EMIM is so nice and friendly. You could ask for a drawing example or an example of a similar dress that had been changed, like me with the 2 OPs. That was just something I had in my mind, and I had shown pictures. I do collages and things like that. I'm not really a verbal person. If you are a verbal person, then just go with that. Go with whatever way suits you. So definitely, if you are considering altering a piece, I would highly recommend EMIM. As I mentioned before, it's my second order. The first order was a mistake on my part, thinking that my size wouldn't change, and it did. Nobody can predict that. Unfortunately, that's just something that happens. So yeah, definitely get in contact. There is, I think, if you're not Europe based, I think Thistle Down Emporium, I will add a link to them. They offer a similar service and they're US based. EMIM is probably better for European based Lolitas. I couldn't comment on the price of postage, but Ireland, for sending back and forth, it was not, I wouldn't say it was cheap, but it was not that expensive. And the price of the altering itself was, I thought, really, really reasonable. I could not argue with the price of the work, and the quality of the work done is phenomenal. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you EMIM. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you soon.